Hello Space Watchers and welcome back to our weekly nugget. Today we are going to comment on the successful launch of the third test of Starship, of SpaceX Starship. So if you remember, the first launch lasted more or less 4 minutes before everything exploded into air. The second test flight lasted 7 minutes and a half, 8 minutes. And again, both the booster and Starship were forced to disintegrate because there was a leaking problem. There was a problem with propellant. So this is the third time lucky. And they have been actually able to conclude the journey. So we can definitely call this a success, or at least a huge progress from test flight number 2. There were other milestones that SpaceX wanted to achieve during this test flight. And first of all, of course, the general goal of passing the separation stage. And definitely they achieved that. Secondly, a soft landing in the sea for the booster, for Super Heavy, and this was actually not achieved because, excuse me, the controlled burn re-entry of the first booster was incomplete, and the booster ended in what we can call a hard splash in the Gulf of Mexico. SpaceX also wanted to test the opening of the payload door, and this is very important to remember that Starship is going to be a commercial vehicle, so you will need to exchange goods, technical components, payloads, and astronauts between the vehicle and other vehicles. So the payload door has to be able to cycle up, to open and close. So they tested it during the suborbital flights and it worked. So we can call it a success. Another thing that they wanted to test was propellant transfer in space. So this is quite interesting because this testing is very important for the mission that Spaceship has to do with the Artemis program. This is part of their contract with NASA for the Human Landing System, which we call HLS. And so today the propellant transfer was just within the vehicle, within Starship, but one day they will need to learn to do it between 2 different vehicles. So it was an important test. At the moment, it's not clear to me if it was a success or not. Somebody says it was a success, somebody said that they don't know if it's confirmed. So unfortunately, at the time of recording of this video, we don't know it yet, or at least I don't know it yet. We now thought that they were not able to relight the Raptor engine, which was another milestone. They wanted to try to relight the Raptor engines in space, but the company said that this test was skipped, but they didn't comment on why. Last but not least, they wanted to bring Starship into the Indian Ocean with a gentle and controlled landing, but again, it was not a controlled re-entry. I think they lost communication at T plus 64 minutes, so they were not able to communicate, and Starship at the moment is somewhere in the Indian Ocean. Credit to be given, the images of the entire live show were absolutely incredible, and the final images of Starship burning through the plasma during the descent were incredible, were absolutely stunning. I recommend you to check them out on their website. The thermal shield went through something like 1500 Celsius of heating, so the plasma was unbelievable. So say yes, it's a success. Yes, they're pushing the boundaries, that they are achieving what they want to achieve. And my final comment, personally, I'm a bit skeptical every time the SpaceX call all its test flight historical. I'm not sure we can really call test flight number 1, which lasted 4 minutes, or test flight number 2, which lasted just a bit longer, or even this one as historical. I'm pretty sure history will show us in a few hundred years what is actually milestone, what can be actually considered historical for humanity, and I'm looking forward to see that. And as much as I agree that these test flights are important milestones from the engineering and the scientific point of view, I'm not sure that I will call them historical every time. This is my personal opinion. Let us know what you think. Let us know in the comments. And of course, subscribe to our newsletter and keep following us. Space Watch out.